everybody. Thank you so much for taking an interest in this video and hopefully my channel. So today I am living and loving autism. Now usually when I say that I'm living and loving something, I mean that I'm living. I'm out there in the world living. I have a pulse. I'm not dead yet. And then I'm loving whatever I'm loving. But when I say that I'm living and loving autism, I literally mean that I'm both living and loving autism, because I'm living with autism and I love it. And I also love other types of autism as well. So today's video is going to be what it feels like to have autism, my point of view of autism, and all my thoughts on it, like autism in general, and all that jam from my point of view, from the point of view of somebody who has autism. Now, there are some topics, like most of pretty much all of these topics, that I'm going to go into further detail on, like I'm going to explain them more in other videos. But this video is just going to be a general outlook. So first of all, I just want to say that I feel blessed and not cursed to have autism. And yes, it did take me a long time to feel like this, but I realized that my autism is a gift and I should be grateful for it. And if I could go back in time and make it so that I don't have autism, I would pass on that opportunity. Because of my autism, I've met so many amazing people that I would not have met if I didn't have autism. I've overcome so many amazing obstacles that I would not have overcome if I didn't have autism. And those obstacles that I've overcome have made me be stronger. And I've done so many things, and I've done so many things that I would not have done if I didn't have autism. And my autism that I have also kind of made me smarter too, and I wouldn't want to pass on that, because I love being smart. Now, I'm no Sheldon Cooper or anything, but I love being smart. Being smart is a good thing. But yeah, anyway, enough about me being smart. But yeah, if I didn't have autism, I wouldn't have any of those things. And like I said, I'm grateful to have those things. So one of the things that I want to talk about in this video, and I am going to talk about in this video, is just a little bit of my story. So I was 2 when I first got diagnosed with autism, and it was actually within like 6 months of me being diagnosed with seizures as well. Now, I don't know if this was 6 months before or 6 months after. You know, like, I'll ask my mom, you know, like whether it was within 6 months before or within 6 months after, and I'll make a separate video on that. But yeah, so I don't really remember much, like before I was 5 years old, or really 6 years old or 7 years old. I have like 2 or 3, you know, like few second memories, but I mean, like, that's it. And like those my memories, you know, where like I actually really remember like what happened, you know, like in full detail, you know, like I could remember the full day. That didn't start to happen more until I was like 8 or 9 years old. So yeah, so now I'm going to talk about how I found out that I had autism. So one day in class, I was reading a Times Kids magazine, and there was an article about a boy, and it was saying, you know, how like he was a picky eater and he only liked 5 different types of foods, and then like he had autism and that's why he was like that. So I began to think, like maybe because I was a picky eater too. I mean, not as much as the boy, but I was a picky eater. So I began to think maybe like maybe one of the reasons, like the main reason that I'm a picky eater is because I have autism. And so I went home, told that to my parents, and they confirmed that I have had autism. So I basically kind of sort of diagnosed myself. Like I found out that I had it myself. Nobody told me. I found out myself. And that happened when I was in 6th grade, and I'm going into 10th grade now. So it's been a few years. When I first found out that I had autism, like I couldn't believe it at first that I could believe it at first, and I felt bad about it. Like I felt horrible about it. And other times, like I would like not want to think about it. Like I would want to ignore that fact, And sometimes like when I would think about the fact that I had autism, like it felt like so strange, like so unbelievable, like kind of like when you hit 1 million subscribers on your YouTube channel, I mean like you can believe it, but it kind of feels like a dream, kind of feels weird. So yeah, but since then I have learned to live by autism, as I've said before, and it definitely like made me more aware of what I was doing, even though sometimes I still do mess up, which brings me to my next point, is that for me, autism means lots of cringy memories. Like so many cringy memories. Like I'm not joking. Yeah, and I just want to say, like every time, like I think back on, like talking about a TV show to somebody who didn't like the TV show or watch the TV show or talk about it for hours and hours, or expecting somebody to know something, but like they didn't know it, and like I can tell now, like of course they wouldn't know it, but back then I didn't know that they didn't know it because of my autism, so I feel sorry for expecting people to know things that they didn't know because of my autism. I feel sorry for being confusing things sometimes, and I just feel sorry for all the bad experiences that I've caused people because of my autism. Like I've expected people to know things that they didn't know. I've talked on and on to things about people, and I've been confusing to people because of my autism. And the thing is that back when I was doing it, like I didn't know that I was being cringy. Like I didn't know that I was doing something wrong. And maybe I wasn't doing something wrong. But still, when I look back on it, it's painful and it feels like a bunch of cringy memories, as I've said before. And I mean, I do still feel blessed to have autism, but as I've said, there's lots of down points to having autism, and to me, those cringy memories are definitely some of the down points. But, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't want to not have autism, so I'll have to live with the cringy memories. But yeah, I just want to say to anybody who I've done something bad to or been confusing to or whatever because of my autism, like I am so sorry. So now I want to talk about my point of view on other types of autism, like nonverbal autism, because I used to have nonverbal autism, but now, as you could probably tell, I'm verbal. So, my point of view on nonverbal autism is that, like, I do think that it's worse than having verbal autism, but I don't think that it's like the worst thing ever. And if people with nonverbal autism learn to talk, I mean, like, I think that's great. But if they don't learn to talk, I still think that they'll succeed. That they'll succeed in life. I'm gonna say this to people with nonverbal autism and verbal autism. Don't let your autism hold you back. Like, still do your best and make an effort for it and try. Because you might very well could end up going places someday. Now, there's low functioning autism and high functioning autism. And I just want to say that I'm grateful to have high functioning autism. Because no offense to autistic people, but like autistic people that aren't me, but lots of autistic people, like they need help their whole life, and they can't get married or have kids. And not to sound rude to those people, but I'm thankful that, that I have the chance to try to get married, that I'm going to be able to go out into the dating world and get married and have kids and have a family and have a job and not live at home forever. Because there was a time where, I don't think I had any thoughts on it, but there was a time where my parents, I don't think that they thought that was possible, or maybe they didn't think that it was possible. Yeah, it could be a maybe, or it could be a for sure. But I've come so far, and I made a lot of progress, and I'm thankful that I've made that progress, and that I'm higher functioning, and that I'm verbal, and that I've had all the help that I've had. I would not be where I am today if I didn't have that help. So I just want to say to parents to have autistic kids or suspect that their kids have autism, get help right away. Don't ignore the symptoms, because the earlier that you get help, the more better off they'll be. If you see symptoms and you're all like, oh yeah, she's ignoring the lights, she's avoiding certain foods, she's just mostly playing with herself and not socializing with other kids, and she or he has problems with other things too. Talk to your doctor about it right away, because it's better to do something right away than to wait. And I also want to say to parents who have autistic kids, don't give up. If they're nonverbal, don't give up on speech therapy. If they're very high functioning, don't give up. Keep on making an effort and keep on working at it, because I can guarantee you that things will get better, and you will make progress, and they're not going to be totally downhill forever. It should keep on going uphill, and if you keep on working at it, and if you keep on staying positive, and if you keep on having high hopes for your kids' future, then you'll be amazed, because it's pretty wonderful what autistic kids can do and what they can become when they put in the hard work and they put in the effort. And when you put in the hard work and effort by encouraging them and believing in them. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!